Imagine walking into a room full of strangers. You want to connect, influence, and leave a lasting impression. But how? This is where Dale Carnegie's timeless wisdom comes in. His book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, has been a game changer for millions since 1936, from business leaders to everyday people. And today, we're going to break it all down into 4 powerful parts. First, we uncover the fundamental techniques in handling people, where you'll learn why criticism fails and how to inspire cooperation instead. Next, we explore 6 ways to make people like you, the secrets to genuine connection and winning hearts effortlessly. Then, we dive into how to win people to your way of thinking, persuasion without arguments, just smart psychology. Finally, we unlock how to be a leader, without arousing resentment, the art of influence through encouragement, not authority. By the end of this video, you'll have powerful, practical tools to improve your relationships and become a person everyone wants to be around. Let's dive in. Meet George B. Johnston. As a safety officer, his job was to ensure workers wore hard hats. But every time he scolded them, they'd put the helmets on momentarily, only to take them off once he left. Then he tried a different approach. Instead of demanding, he asked, "Is the helmet uncomfortable?" Then in a calm tone, he reminded them of its purpose, protecting them from injuries. The result? Compliance without resentment. Criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive. Instead of condemning, let's try to understand people. Principle 2. One of America's top industrialists, Charles Schwab, once said, "I am anxious to praise but loath to find fault." The truth is, people crave appreciation. A simple "great job" can ignite motivation like nothing else. The key is to always be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. A father wanted his son to eat healthy. Nagging didn't work. But when he told his son, "If you eat well, you'll be strong enough to defeat the bully," the boy cleaned his plate. People act when they see the benefit for themselves. Principle number 3. Arouse an eager want. Moving on to part 2. Want more friends? Carnegie's advice is simple but profound. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Charles Walters, of one of the large banks in New York City, needed important information from a company president, but the man wasn't interested. Then Walters remembered something. The president collected stamps for his son. The next day, he brought some, and they spent half an hour talking about stamps. The president devoted more than an hour of his time giving Walters everything he needed. People love talking about what matters to them. Show interest, and they'll open up to you. Here's another story. Bill Steinhardt had been married for 18 years but barely spoke to his wife in the mornings. He never smiled. He was miserable. One day, he tried something new. He forced a smile. His wife? Shocked. But he kept going. At work, he smiled at the elevator operator, the doorman, the cashier, the stock exchange floor. And something amazing happened. People smiled back. Conversations flowed. Business deals got easier. Bill realized that a simple smile brought him more happiness, more success, more money. Next, have you ever met someone who instantly remembered your name? How did it make you feel? Names aren't just words. They're our identity, the sweetest sound we can hear. Even the great P.T. Barnum once offered his grandson $25,000 just to carry on his name. Why? Because names matter. Think about it. People name buildings, libraries, even entire legacies after themselves. It's because a name makes us feel valued, recognized, and important. Want to leave a lasting impression? Say their name. It turns a stranger into a friend, a client into a loyal customer, and a brief interaction into something unforgettable. Want to be instantly more likable? It's simpler than you think. Here are the 6 ways to do so. Be genuinely interested. Ask questions, listen, and let others share. Smile, it's contagious and transforms interactions. Remember names. It's the sweetest sound to anyone. Listen well, people love to be heard. Talk about their interests, not just yours. Make them feel important. And mean it. People remember how you make them feel, so make it count. There are 12 powerful principles in Part 3, all of which I've listed here. However, covering each one in detail would make this video too long. Feel free to pause and take notes if needed. Instead, let's focus on a few key principles, real-world examples that can help you influence, connect with others, and win them to your way of thinking. Meet Harold Reinke, a Dodge dealer in Montana. Like many in the car business, Harold faced his fair share of unhappy customers, and his usual response, defensiveness, arguments, frustration. But Harold soon realized something. This approach got him nowhere. Customers left angry and business suffered. He needed a new strategy. Then he tried a different tactic. Instead of arguing and finding flaws, he chose humility. The next time a customer complained, Harold responded with understanding. He listened to their opinions, admitted past mistakes, and invited the customer to share their experience. And what happened? The customer felt heard. The tension dissolved. Instead of escalating the conflict, Harold created an environment of mutual respect. Not only did this approach resolve complaints more smoothly, but it also won him loyalty. Some customers even referred friends. Harold's story teaches us a powerful lesson. Instead of proving someone wrong, listen with an open mind. A little humility can go a long way in turning conflicts into opportunities. The principle here is to always show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." Next, meet Sam Douglas. Every evening he watches his wife spend hours in the yard pulling weeds, fertilizing, and mowing the lawn, and every evening he says the same thing.
Why do you waste so much time on this? The lawn doesn't look any better than when we moved in.
Naturally, his wife felt hurt. Every time Sam criticized her efforts, the rest of the evening was ruined. Then Sam took a course on human relations. He had a revelation. Maybe he had been missing the point all along. It wasn't about the lawn. His wife enjoyed gardening. It brought her joy. And instead of criticizing her, what if he appreciated her efforts?
I'm going out to pull some weeds. Want to keep me company?
At first he refused. But then he had an idea. What if he tried to see things from her perspective? For the first time, he joined her. To his surprise, she was delighted. They worked together, chatted, and enjoyed each other's company.
Wow, this lawn looks great. You've done an amazing job, especially with this rock-hard soil.
From then on, he helped her in the yard, praised her work, and just like that, their relationship changed for the better. So, what's the lesson here? Step into the other person's shoes. Look beyond your own perspective. Understand their motivations, and you might just transform your relationships. One of the key skills in effective relationships is the ability to honestly see things from the other person's point of view. Henry Ford once said,
If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own.
In Part 4, we'll uncover the core principles that set great leaders apart. There are 9 powerful lessons in this section, each offering a blueprint for inspiring, motivating, and guiding others. But instead of just listing them all, let's dive into a few compelling examples that truly bring these leadership principles to life. Imagine you're a manager, and you need to tell an employee they're not meeting expectations. The situation is tricky. How do you approach it? Well, Abraham Lincoln had the perfect strategy when he needed to talk to General Hooker during the Civil War. Things were looking grim, and he had to address the general's shortcomings. But instead of attacking him straight away, Lincoln started with praise. Lincoln started by saying,
I believe you are a brave and skillful soldier.
He praised the general's strengths before addressing his faults. This is exactly what you can do. Before pointing out flaws, recognize what's going well. It makes the criticism easier to digest. And just like Lincoln's general, people tend to be more willing to listen to criticism. They feel valued and empowered to improve. Starting with praise doesn't just soften the blow, it builds trust, encourages growth, and helps your team thrive. So remember, begin with praise and honest appreciation. No one likes to take orders, but everyone loves to be a part of a solution. Take Owen D. Young, for example. He was so skilled at this technique that he never gave direct orders. Instead, he suggested and involved others. He didn't say, do this or don't do that. Instead, he'd say, you might consider this, or what do you think of this idea? By offering suggestions, Young allowed his team to learn, make decisions, and take ownership, without resentment or fear of mistakes. Let's look at a different example. A teacher at a vocational school once stormed into a classroom, angry that a car was blocking the driveway. Whose car is blocking the driveway? Move it now, he shouted. The student moved the car, but resentment built up in the class. Everyone was upset over something that could have been solved calmly. Had the teacher asked kindly, "Whose car is in the driveway?" and suggested moving it so others could park, the outcome would have been much smoother. The student would have moved the car gladly, and the class would have respected the teacher. So remember, asking questions instead of giving direct orders builds trust, fosters creativity, and makes people feel respected. It turns "I have to" into "I want to." As a leader, ask questions, involve your team, and watch how much they can accomplish together. Now, imagine this. The day before an important client meeting, the manager walks into the stockroom. It's a mess. He needs it cleaned. But how does he get John to do it without frustration? The old way? "John, clean the stockroom. Sweep, pile the stock, and polish the counter." It's direct, but doesn't inspire much enthusiasm. Instead of just telling John what to do, the manager decides to explain why it matters. "John, we have clients coming in tomorrow, and the stockroom is a bit messy. If it's cleaned now, it'll help make a great impression. Plus, you'll play a key role in showing our efficiency." By explaining how John's efforts will benefit both him and the company, the manager sparks John's motivation. He's not just cleaning, he's contributing to a bigger goal. The stockroom looks great, the clients are happy, and John takes pride in his contribution. He feels important, and the task was done with enthusiasm. When you show how a task benefits the other person, they're more likely to do it willingly. It's not just about getting things done, it's about making the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. And there you have it. These timeless principles from Dale Carnegie are the keys to building better relationships, influencing others positively, and becoming the best version of yourself. Make people feel important, listen, smile, and use their names. Win influence without resentment. Avoid criticism, let them feel ownership, and appeal to noble motives. Win people over without conflict. Agree first, admit when you're wrong, and help others save face. If you've made it this far, you've already invested time in improving your life. So why not take it to the next level? Subscribe to our channel for more life-changing lessons and book summaries. You're just one click away from learning more tools for success. What's the first principle you're excited to put into action? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. We've got some amazing content coming your way to help you grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay awesome.